Thank you for joining us. In just a few short months, the Canada Winter Games will be upon us, and the organizing committee is working hard to make sure the Games are successful ones. The Games will be the largest sporting and cultural event ever to be hosted by the city, and excitement is building. When athletes, coaches and officials get off the plane at the Prince George Airport, they will be welcomed by a mural depicting northern BC and the surrounding area. The mural was the subject of months of work by a local artist.
We'll do some posing shots after.
Back in July, the artist known as Grinch was chosen to create a Spirit of the Games project, a mural painted on the exterior walls of the Prince George Airport. Over the summer months, Grinch used his airbrushing and painting techniques to create the mural telling the northern BC story, from past, present to future.
2, 1.
He spent hours researching what to depict in the artwork, from area animals to even a selfie. A self-representation on an inner tube floating down the river, a well-loved recreational activity for the artist.
Just the picture came to my head, right? You know, when I was in school, grade 6 social studies, I just doing that again. I mean, I learned everything in school. And the inspiration was just, I love doing stuff like this, throwing everything together to make a challenge. You know, like, you know, it's a big thing to do. Like, you know, how do you tell a story of northern BC? You pretty much have to live in BC to know what's going on.
The mural is a partnership through the airport, the Games, and the Prince George and District Community Arts Council, and it's expected to last for years after the event is over, as a welcome to anyone visiting the region.
It'll connect the airport, number one, with the Winter Games, and number two, it's going to connect passengers' arrivals to the region, because the mural's all about the region. This becomes another piece in the art gallery, but a much more permanent piece. You know, it's going to be a legacy, and it was done for the Games and for the airport.
The work of art and its lasting legacy is another piece to the Canada Games, which promotes not only sport, but culture in the hosting communities. Grinch, for one, hopes his message will come across to visitors from near and far.
It'll say that this is a really beautiful place to live, BC. I'm very grateful to be living in BC myself, Canada, you know, as opposed to whatever's going on out there in the world. This is a great piece of land it's just, you know, there's beautiful stuff.
Signs of the Games' arrival are popping up all over the place, and Fridays are becoming a good day to show your team colors. Canada Winter Games gear is front and center as you walk into the Canadian Tire store, as the official launch of the clothing line took place early September. All proceeds go to the Canada Winter Games. Games Gear Fridays have also been declared, meaning people are encouraged to wear their Games gear every Friday between now and March 1st. And Canadian Tire has become an official community sponsor of the Games.
It was quite an easy sell. I love this fine community of Prince George, and we wanted to play a part in this great event, which is going to be the biggest thing that's ever happened to Prince George. In our store, we already have a culture that's based on teamwork, sport, and community involvement. So it was not a big leap to become involved with the Games. That's just part of who we are and what we want to do in our community.
While some of us in the community get our Games gear on, the 14 venues are almost ready to host the athletes come Games time. Our Camille McDonald checks in now with how the upgrades and renovations are going.
Right now, it's baking under the sun. But before you know it, the ice oval will be frozen and competition ready.
We're working on that currently, and then also a few more things to do at Tabor with their trail and with their project down there.
14 other Games venues are ready to go.
From lighting upgrades, efficient lighting in places like the Golf and Curling Club, to massive upgrades to like the Kin 1 capital project.
The price tag, $16.5 million. The grand opening of the arena marked the one-year countdown to the Games.
We're thrilled that we've been able to stay on target with the expansion to things like the Otway ski trails and the Tabor development for their border cross and ski cross events.
Most of the venues have already hosted test events, so it should be smooth sailing come games time.
It's very exciting that we know that we're ready to host the games, that we've been testing them with our volunteers and athletes from around Canada and the province.
The only project that has a ways to go, the Civic Centre Plaza. The City of Prince George is in charge of this one. The plaza is set to be complete by the end of October. This reno will cost over $944,000, made possible with contributions from the city, Northern Development Initiatives Trust, as well as the provincial and federal governments. Organizers say it's all part of the legacy the Canada Winter Games will leave behind.
With all these upgrades, we'll have the opportunity to host future tournaments and projects on a national level.
Now it's a matter of waiting for the mercury to drop. Camille McDonald, CKPG News.
Just as the fire burns within the athletes' hearts, so will the Canada Games flame. But first, it must make its way to northern BC. After being lit in Ottawa, it will travel to Victoria and then through the north. 150 locals have been named to carry the torch through the relay leading up to the Games. Stops will be made in Quesnel, Fort St. John and Terrace as those communities were chosen to host special celebrations. The relay in the north will begin November 4th.
This is a 48-year-old project, so you know what? When the flame is there, that is the symbol of everybody coming together. And for us to light the flame at Centennial Flame at Parliament Hill in front of the Peace Tower and bring it back, it means that we're sharing it with all Canadians. This is Canada's event. It's BC's turn to host, and BC has chosen Northern BC to be the host.
To pull the Games off in February, thousands of volunteers are needed. Coming up after the break, we'll meet a few who have already donated many hours as part of the planning process. And we'll take a look at how the community continues to prepare for the Games.